In our top story tonight, Joe Biden is not having a good week. Several classified documents from his time as vice president were discovered in 2 different locations, and now there's an investigation underway. The president is cooperating with authorities, even offering up the backup saved to his son's laptop if needed. Dude, people need to stop leaving classified documents all over the place. It's one thing to leave your flan recipe on the work printer, but not the location of a sleeper cell in the Balkans. At this point, you can just pick up secret government documents any old place. I got a sweet deal on Facebook Marketplace earlier for a list of Russian assets, but I also saw a Groupon for buy one, get one, 5 free nuclear launch codes. President Biden headed down to the border this week to ask a bunch of questions. Afterwards, having failed to immediately solve the border crisis, Biden proceeded into Mexico where he had some affordable dental work done and treated the press corps to a pitcher of margs. Members of George Santos' own party are asking him to resign just a few days into his term. Santos is refusing, saying, "I was elected by the people." No, an imaginary person was elected by the people, okay? We swiped right on Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito showed up to the wine bar. Also, his refusal to resign is just so dumb because he's maybe the easiest person in the world to dig up dirt on, you know? He's terrible at covering his tracks. Some staffer's gonna do a quick Google search of George Santos' deepest, darkest secrets, and 5 minutes later, a guy's gonna be in his office with a manila folder full of pictures of George Santos marrying a chicken, like, how about now you resign? George, they're gonna get you eventually. Just bow out now. Kevin McCarthy finally won the House Speaker job, but at what cost? Here are just a few of the things he had to promise in order to get the votes. Number 1, MTG gets to replace the presidential fitness goals with her own CrossFit routine. God help us all. Also, McCarthy promised that Matt Gaetz can hide in the Speaker's office bathroom anytime he wants. No questions asked. McCarthy also has to share his Netflix password with the whole RNC. That's going to jack up his recommendations. And Lauren Boebert gets front cutsies at the Capitol cafeteria. But hey, at least he didn't reach across the aisle to work with Democrats, right? That would have been insane. The rules package that McCarthy agreed to passed on a nearly party line vote, with one Republican crossing the aisle to vote against the rules. Shockingly, that single Republican was from Texas. His body has still not been found. Now that the GOP has control of the House, they're off and running on their legislative agenda. They started by having metal detectors taken out of the building, presumably taken out and shot. Next up on their agenda, telling the IRS they're not allowed to do anything, ever, because how are they supposed to get away with tax fraud if people are watching? Then they'll kick around the idea of potentially causing a global economic collapse by failing to raise the debt ceiling because nothing fixes up your 401k like spooking the global markets. And then, of course, they'll be investigating the investigators. But then we have to get investigators to investigate the investigators who are investigating the other investigators. Where does it stop? And finally, let's not forget the endless investigating of Hunter Biden's laptop. House Republicans, who have completely forgotten about that red wave that didn't happen in the midterms, have also introduced a 15-week abortion ban in a spectacular inability to read the room. But the midterms were 2 whole months ago. Who can even remember back that far? It's not like we took notes. After some minor oopsie-daisies, like handing out client communications and medical records like they were nuclear launch codes, Norm Pattis, Alex Jones's lawyer in the Sandy Hook trials, has had his law license suspended. Sources say the request was accidentally sent to the judge from Norm Pattis. Oh, Norm, you rascal. The guy who threw a White Claw at Ted Cruz in a parade was cleared of all charges. We have a quick list of other people he could throw canned beverages at, and Ted Cruz is on that list multiple times. Air travel got super jacked once again this week. Apparently we're making this a monthly thing, and I hate it. Yes, due to a software update, all flights were temporarily grounded earlier this week. Mark Zuckerberg tried to interject with, "You could try virtual reality instead of travel, it's the next best thing to being there," but was promptly shot in the neck with a tranq dart meant for a rhino. It's clear air travel has some things to sort out, so in the meantime, we have some other travel methods you can use. A good old-fashioned catapult. Hitching a ride with your cousin's ska band in their van. No, you will smell like weed afterwards. There's always astral projection or sewer tubing, if you're nasty. Or if you're a flamboyant menopausal blonde, try marrying a guy that wants you dead so he can have your money and then getting invited to go on a yacht by a flock of gays. And if none of that works, there's always Amtrak.
Once again, for those of you that are calling the police, We are not holding you hostage. We are giving you all the information in which we have.
Okay, maybe not Amtrak. Gas stoves, a favorite from cooking enthusiast to Sylvia Plath, may be under attack as some say the feds are considering banning them. After the government said they're not actually looking to do that, some right-wing commenters were nonetheless whipped into a frenzy, with some, like apparent Plath fan Matt Walsh, saying, "You will have to pry my gas stove from my cold, dead hands," which doesn't make any sense. They'd be really hot in that case. And speaking of what's cooking, this year's hottest food trend is the Mediterranean diet. Our own Chef Austin is here to teach you how to make healthy food that's totally Graham-worthy.
Hi, welcome to the Phoenix Kitchen. I'm your host, Austin, and I am bringing in this new year with a great new diet because we're all very concerned with how we look. So I'm on the Mediterranean diet. That is the big kick for this year. And my favorite recipe so far has been shakshuka. It's a traditional mix of tomatoes and spices, eggs, and toast. It's very beautiful, very wonderful. And I'm going to show you how to get the best possible Instagram photo of your shakshuka. Now what you really want to do in this is to angle that front plane forward. It's really going to change your focal plane. You're going to need a beauty light, an overhead light to just really fill it in, and just, shoot a bunch of slates. Really get it all in there. Don't worry so much about any individual shot, and that's how you're going to get the best possible picture of your healthy new diet. You're going to love it. Anyway, thanks for joining me. Back to you in the studio, Andrea.
French unions plan to strike over a proposed plan to raise the retirement age. This prompted Americans to Google what is retirement and what is a pension. Also, Google's search activity for how to get a third job for my grandmother is at an all-time high in the U.S. A man who definitely killed his wife apparently did a Google search for how to dispose of a 115-pound woman's body. Geez, dude, what was wrong with just how to dispose of a body generally? I'm just asking for a friend. Next time, try asking Jeeves how to dispose of my wife Kelly's body, who is a 32-year-old mother of 3 with blonde hair and her favorite color is blue. A police department is in the midst of a spicy sex scandal. Investigators got suspicious when they saw strip searches were up 14,000% on officers instead of suspects. One female officer had sex with 5 other officers at the police station, and the department regularly had parties that were sexual in nature. How can we trust this department to even pull someone over? Looks like you got a busted taillight. I'd like to bust your taillight, if you know what I mean. Can I just go to jail instead? Comedy Central's search for a new Daily Show host begins January 17th, and it ends as soon as I figure out how to mail myself to their office. The former CEO of McDonald's will pay a fine regarding his firing due to a relationship with an employee. He tried to keep it under wraps, but eventually was spotted at Nobu with a man in a yellow jumpsuit and red hair. Sources say that the couple have since parted ways, as the former CEO developed an understandable attraction to Grimace. Culture warriors are up in arms about a new pack of M&Ms that only features their female characters.
I think this is the kind of thing that makes China say, like, oh, good, keep focusing on that. Yeah. Keep focusing on giving people their own color M&Ms while we, take over all of the mineral deposits in the entire world.
Let me make something clear. This was not a big deal until you made it one, all right? You're the one going on a news show to talk about this. Most people would be like, oh, M&Ms are doing something with the lady M&Ms. I don't know, it's not important enough for me to pay attention to. And then you went on a cable network and started making public statements about it. Man, if this one bothers you, your head is absolutely going to explode when they release their gender-neutral them and thems. Kohler, the company that takes your crap, has released its newest toilet. Folks, this thing is the shit. It's got lights, speakers, heaters, and even an app that wants to access your phone camera and contacts list for some reason. And all this for only $8,000. Let me tell you, next time it's 2 a.m. and I'm groaning out the result of hogging the cheese log at the office party, this is the device I want to be moistening my nethers with a bounce-back splash. Kohler, I'll make you a deal. If you send me one of these toilets, I will do the whole show sitting on it. Sitting, not shitting. Call me. I'm ready for my space toilet. Good news for bees. Now they have their very own COVID vaccine. Now we just got to hire someone to vaccinate billions of bees. The hardest part is getting them to roll up their tiny little sleeves. Woohoo, bitches! The motherfucking ozone layer is healing. You wanted a feel-good story? You got one. In response to this exceedingly good news, the RNC has cranked all the ACs down to 62 degrees in celebration. Do you want to celebrate too? Go ahead! Water your giant lawn for days. Drive your Hummer across the country just for fun. Let's have an old-fashioned styrofoam burning party. Who held on to their CFCs? Bust that shit out! Living in flyover country? Dump your trash in the nearest stream or lake. All the water will be gone soon anyway. Let's just get the environment over with. More great news from the world of sports where Damar Hamlin has been released from the hospital. While his doctors said he should stay off the field for a while following his cardiac arrest, the NFL said he just needed to rub some dirt on it, clarifying, look, everybody's heart stops now and then. He's fine. A Houston area man has been charged with aggravated kidnapping after holding a woman he met on Bumble captive for 5 days, which explains Bumble's new tagline, make the first move and then run like hell. And finally tonight, the Texas Testicle Festival is this Saturday, and the organizers want you to come and have a ball, or maybe just a sack lunch. Come meet Mr. Johnson, he's nuts, as he does a reading of Longfellow. Enjoy some churros dipped in nut butter. Bring the boys and come hang out. That wraps up this week's Friday Fenix. Don't forget to subscribe.
Your efforts are valid, but I don't think you can step up to the challenge. Your efforts are valid, but I don't think you can step up to the challenge.